JWJ artists! Hi, I miss you all. It's so nice to see you on here. I wanted to offer up an optional project for this week. As you saw in our teams, I said that all of our projects for grades will be done because we're in our last 2 weeks of school. However, some of you guys are just incredibly gifted with photography, and so I wanted to offer up an optional lesson for you guys for this last week. So, and again, it's not for a grade. This is just for fun because I would love to keep making a gallery video for these last 2 weeks so that I can share your incredible, incredible artwork. Oh, but wait, first, I gotta show you guys, my earrings are elephants. For real, they're elephants. Okay. So what we are going to be doing for this week, if you choose, is using color as your subject and creating photography that is strong compositionally and color is the focus. So I wanted to show a few examples. Here, the artist, clearly, they had a friend, a model, a subject sit on top of a wall that was already naturally colored. We're going to talk briefly about finding color versus creating color versus using digital editing software to alter the color of your photographs. So you guys already know all this. We've done this in the classroom. You know color theory, you know the primaries, the secondaries, the tertiaries, you know complementary colors, you know intermediate, like you know this stuff, okay? That's not what we're doing. This is fun, and it's not studying. So found color is an option, option 1. This is when you start to just notice the objects that are around you. Notice things inside your house. Notice things when the light hits them. Notice the way the light hits someone's face. Notice the colors that change that are already there and the ones that you can find without having to alter or create your own colors. These grapes, for example, I mean, they're multicolored grapes, and the color of them is what makes this image so much more interesting than if you just took a picture of a bag of grapes. Found color, again, the background here, of course, it's really pretty, it's very cool. However, the focus, the emphasis, right, one of our principles of design, is on the red in this old photo booth. I find photo booths really interesting anyway, but the focus is the color here because it just pops. That red against this neutral, mundane background really pops and makes this image really strong and interesting. Here, again, they're playing with pattern as well, and you can, of course, use pattern. You can use line, you can use value, but I want the focus to be on the color. So here, this image on the left, the model has not only matching patterns with her stripes, but purple and red next to each other are really strong colors, and that's really what draws your eye in, is that bold, intense color. This image on the right here, just so simple, right? So easy. That bright red barn door against the green bush in the front, and we know that red and green are what? Complementary colors. So this image is really strong as well. Created color or staged color. So this is if, for example, if you've ever seen those old-fashioned photo filters where they're like red or green or blue or yellow, it's kind of like a clear piece of film with color on it. You can put that in front of your camera or in front of a light bulb before you shoot and create really intense colors. You can also create or stage color, if you look over here on the left, by using filters. Yes, you can definitely use filters on this project if you choose. You can use lenses, you can use colored light bulbs. Some people have those black lights or purple light bulbs, or even like that UV red light bulb. You can use that to add more intense color to your photographs, and that would be really successful. You can also create color as an interesting composition by creating your composition with things that are of different colors, such as simple colored pencils here laid out in a really cool heart-shaped double design. It's symmetrical. It's every color in the spectrum. They've also created a subject here, which is the hearts, but the color is the focus of this photograph. Selective color. So selective color is when there's only one color that really pops, kind of like that old photo booth we just looked at, but in this one you've got a really small object, but it's the only thing with color in it. Selective color here as well. Just because the background isn't boring or mundane, there's only one color that really stands out. And using selective color, you can also get sort of a social message across. For example, if you've ever seen those quotes that say, be the one that stands out, stand out among the crowd, be the person that's different, be you, unique. This red apple here is using selective color to create a message about being unique. Selective color here. So we're about to go into post-production, where it would be like if you have any digital software or photo editing platforms that you use. There are ways that you can have selective color in post-production, because what you're doing is keeping one object the emphasis, and that's the object of color, and you are yourself the director of that photograph, turning everything else black and white. I love this photograph too, because look, there's leading lines, right? The composition is still the rule of thirds. Very strong photograph. Oh, here we go. So remember, when you do start shooting, your composition is important. The rule of thirds, this image here, the center of this image is not where your eye is drawn. There are leading lines, right? The tree line here leads your eye down this path of red leaves. Getting different angles, going really low, getting really high, maybe zooming in really close or pulling far away. Just don't forget about your composition as you look for color to be the subject of this photo project. And so the last option is using post-production editing for color. I know a lot of you guys already have some sort of software on your computer that allows you to enhance the color of your images. You can play around with the contrast. You can play around with saturation. For example, this one over here on the right with this Red Riding Hood model, the red in her white in the dress and the red in her cape are much more intensely emphasized than the background, which is much more neutral, earth-toned colors. Photoshop, Snapseed, you can even use Instagram filters. There's tons of different editing software you can use to change the color from the original, like this one down here on the left of the tennis courts, to this much more enhanced, intense, color saturated tennis court on the right. There's other ways too that you can play around with lights. So if you have a flashlight, if you have one of those really annoying little laser beam keychain things that you guys love to use in class, oh my gosh, you can use those. You can use those bracelets that you crack and then they light up. So there's different ways you can use lights, even Christmas lights. A lot of you guys, I think Sydney did, I think Cami did. There's several people who have used Christmas lights in their past week projects. Christmas lights, if you wiggle them around as you're taking the picture, they can create a really cool post-production effect in your photographs. And then again, so if you have something more advanced like Photoshop, you are allowed to use that, of course. This is an optional project. It's just for fun. I just want you guys to have fun, and I want to see your work. Like, I've gotten obsessed with collecting your images every weekend, and I love showing you off, and I love looking at them. This project, you may alter, you may edit, you may adjust, as long as your focus, your main focus, is the subject of color. So your turn. Start to notice the vibrant and diverse colors around you. They're there. Sometimes we just get so used to seeing so much all the time that we don't even realize how exciting our natural surroundings are. So just start to look, like really look and notice. And then decide for this project if you want to find color, so like the grapes, if you want to create color by using a lens or a filter, and then if you want to adjust your color using some sort of digital software. And then shoot and get your work to me by Sunday night so that I can still create, even though it's not for a grade, I can still create a really awesome gallery video to show off to the teachers, to show off to all your peers in the team for next Monday. I love celebrating your work. You are awesome. You are all amazing. I can't wait to see what you create. So as always, here are your 3 ways to submit. You can do it through my email, you can do it through the classroom Instagram, and then you can also just directly upload to the Smartest Artist channel and focus on color. So that is all I have. I hope that wasn't too long for this optional project, but I wanted to still give you guys something so that I can see your work and you can keep creating, even though I'm not doing this for a grade. I'm doing it for you and selfishly for me because I love you and your artwork. So have fun. Take some pictures of really strong, vibrant color, but keep in mind composition. I miss you so much. That's all I have because I don't want to take too much of your time, but signing out, as always, art class, quarantine 2020. See you soon.